Good morning, everybody. You ready to get started here? Let's call the meeting to order at 11:30. For our meeting participants, please ensure that you are muted with your video turned off to conserve bandwidth, and it enhances the performance of Zoom. The meeting is being recorded, and the link will be forwarded to everybody in VMS. So if you can't attend, then you're able to view it. The chat box is there to ask questions and make comments. We've got Joellen monitoring the chat, so she'll be there to answer your questions or get some answers from the speaker if you need it. And it looks like we have 59 participants. That may increase, but as of now, we've got 59. And I will turn it over to our president, Abby. Take it away, ma'am.
Well, good morning, everybody. Are we okay, Jessica?
Yes, we are good to go.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, well, welcome to the May monthly meeting of the Dallas County Master Gardener Association. Today, our speaker will be Rusty Allen, the Education and Outreach Coordinator for North Haven Gardens. Our wonderful Jeff Rasko will be speaking to us about the latest and greatest things that are going on from Agrilife. And then our project spotlight will be Cindy Wabner speaking about Juliet Fowler. And a new face for me, Callie Works Leary, our Instagram coordinator, will be speaking to us. And then Cindy Large will be speaking to us about the at-home botanist program. And we'll close it up after that. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Rusty Allen. Rusty, you want to take over?
Am I on?
You are.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate it very much. So I was asked to give you some updates on what's going on at North Haven Gardens and really I think what's going on in gardening in general. And hopefully y'all will help me make sure I'm getting to the right spot. It looks like this is where I'm supposed to be, I think. No? I think I've lost audio now.
Oh, Rusty, we can hear you. I see that you've started screen sharing, but it's kind of scrolling there.
Is that what's going on? Okay, because I'm not seeing that here. I have my agenda. I want to get rid of that.
It says Rusty has started screen sharing, but that's just a little circle of death.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
I don't know Zoom. Oh, there it goes.
How about that?
Yeah, I see the garden thing.
There we go.
2021 trends, an update, yeah.
Let's try this. That's why y'all put me on lunch, so nobody can see this.
So I think we're good now.
I think so too. So here we are. I'm just going to see if that's actually going to go. I think it will here. Looks like it will. Aha. So, you know, they're calling this the Great Reset. There are more than 18 million new gardeners in this past year. That's pretty amazing to me. I think that, of course, most of it is more people being at home and making connections to gardening and family projects. They're finding nature again. They're learning to grow their own. They're gardening indoors, in their offices, and in the kitchen, in the bathroom windows, all the spaces that they've got. An extension of the outdoors in and the indoors out, I think, is occurring even more. And making an outdoor space is the main reason 55% people said that they want, and the reason why they're getting into gardening. Making new mental and spiritual connections through gardening, I think, is having a big impact. I'm one of those unfortunate people that had COVID, and I know what it was like to be quite sick at home and not feeling well for a long time. And having the garden there was definitely a place to find some peace during that time. De-stressing and garden wellness, I think, goes on forever. More than half of adults are now spending 2 additional hours outdoors every day. I think it's fantastic. Younger gardeners say that they're more into gardening now than ever before. 19 to 28 and 29 to 39 age groups. 86% say they're going to be gardening the same or more as this past year. And 95%, this is a good part, 95% plan on visiting a garden center. So we're very happy about that. And I want to tell you through this, as I'm giving you some of these numbers, is what's been happening in North Haven at the same time. I think you'll enjoy this. It's lots of pictures, but I think you'll enjoy it too. Hopefully this is running now. Is that what I'm hearing? Ah. So a little bit of the past that's been going on. For those of you who do not know, we're still owned by the Pincus family. It's changed quite a bit, hasn't it? Some old photos. There's the 3 generations with Aaron Pincus now with us. Oop. Did we lose the end of it? I'm so sorry. I'm going to move forward on it. How's that? Y'all able to see all of that? Hello?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, good. Air conditioner's a little loud too. So you know what happened in 2019, and 10 tornadoes came through a big swath of Dallas and really destroyed every single bit of North Haven the way it was. And the cafe, the art gallery, all the new things that we had added, and very few structures were really left that we could save at all. This is the front and our beautiful old oak tree that we have that really, really did enjoy a lot. We had a lot of our events and things underneath that oak tree. And you can see the extent of the damage that's there. A lot of our staff worked a long time every day just to do some of the cleanup. But the big impact, I think, on the trees in the neighborhood is something that we're still feeling. I've had a lot of people come past me and say, even though they've lived in the neighborhood for years, they don't recognize coming down North Haven Road. And it's the trees. It's the trees that are gone. There's very few left. Some of the ones that are there are really struggling, especially since the last cold weather that we've had. But an organization approached me called Retreat, which was new to me. And I'd heard of them through the rebuilding process at Central Market down at Preston and Royal. But Retreat plants trees, and they use volunteers to do so, and they teach people how to plant a tree properly. And they said they'd like to use our parking lot for a staging area. And I said, absolutely. And they came in, they had several groups come through over the day on a Saturday. And in one day, they planted 42 trees in Preston Hollow in the neighborhood. It was wonderful to see young kids and their parents and everyone getting involved. And I think that's been a big deal for getting our community back to the way it used to look. Now there's a new NHG that's been going on. You did see Aaron Pincus there a moment ago. Here he is with John, Aaron's wife Pamela, Lillian Pincus, John's wife, is back to us there, and Cody Hoya, our general manager. And I caught them sitting in the remains of our tropical greenhouse and working on the architectural renderings for the new North Haven, which was adjusted many times over the past couple of years. And then we started our new ad campaign to rebuild it and change colors, change everything about it. Goes on now. And of course, the next thing that happened was COVID, and we responded, as quickly as we absolutely could, and had a mask policy instituted. And I was putting up signs for these and changing as we needed to. And of course, first thing we had to do was get everyone apart, and then the next thing required masks. Asked people as much as we could to have a mask on, and then instituted things like curbside pickup and making shopping as convenient as possible by ordering by email. And then this is what North Haven looks like now, basically the new footprint you can see. One thing we're real proud of is more covered shopping than we've ever had. You can see the main bedding area that's there. All of that is covered there. There's a lot more things to do in the back. You can see there's no other greenhouses. We haven't got to some of the midterm things, but we're only open, we're only closed for 2 weeks, and we opened right after most of the construction happened, so we could be ready for Christmas in 2019. And we've been open ever since. And our new entrance. So here's the new logo. Can I get those out of the way so y'all can see? Is that in the way? I guess so. Here's the curbside pickup. And outside everything, we responded to what people were asking for, so we had minimal contact. Classes and demos started occurring slowly, but social front yards and drive-by parties have come very commonplace, even in office spaces. North Haven's offered the curbside pickup since then, and that was very, very popular. In March 22nd of 2020, we were declared an essential business, so we were able to stay open through the COVID pandemic, and we were very happy. Kids in gardening, I think, has become really a new focus, and a new focus for us. I'm hoping to have even more programming for kids soon. But it'd be interesting, people would call me on the phone and ask for what plants we had in stock and which vegetables they had and we had coming in. And you can hear the kids in the background, and you can hear them getting excited. And parents would tell me over and over, we're going to plant something new. I want the kids to grow something. I want them to see where their food is coming from. A new connection to nature or wildlife is what parents were telling me. They also wanted organic food. They wanted to grow something at home. Online started changing a lot more too. We started doing a lot more videos. I'll show you some of what we've been doing there. And of course, Facebook and Instagram. This made us get out there a lot more, especially for people that were staying at home and not coming in. Online influencers are bigger now than ever. I'm sure you all know that. The questions have gone up 400% to online influencers how to garden, asking for garden questions. Facebook has been cited as the most often used app as a source for information, which I thought was interesting. But mostly just the younger crowd, not so much in my age group of 55 and older. I thought that was very interesting, but not a huge surprise. A lot of people are looking at social media. We started doing a lot more of the videos, as I said, in the temporary greenhouses up front. Those were just to get us by, so we had something to protect from the cold. So I had a little space that was there, and I could get in about 30 people in this little tiny greenhouse. Maybe perhaps some of y'all came in, and I could squeeze in some classes. Perennials is still one of the most popular things as a topic. Style changes are starting to happen. People are becoming more daring with what they're looking for in terms of color or style. If you look in the tropical greenhouse where these shots come from, succulents are still just as huge as they ever have been. You can see the Monstera and Andersonii there in the middle. Swiss cheese plant, all these plants, the Ficus lyrata, those plants that have the really huge, dramatic architectural leaves are still really big. They're cycling through, I think, popularity and what's going on as the younger generations are starting to find some of what we used to call grandma's favorites and cottage core style, something that has a cottage approach to it with color and English gardens are starting to come back as more people start discovering old favorites. Monochromatic gardens are coming back. Moonlit gardens, which I really love, the idea of having everything in shades of whites and yellows. It brings in moths and nighttime insects, and it gives you something that reflects light so you can see your garden at night. All of these are becoming much more popular. Daring uses of brighter blues, yellows, oranges. People are less afraid to combine colors. Paint companies and architects are saying in housing, people are looking for brightly colored front doors and pots now than before. It's not just one or two colors. There are 3 and 4 colors on our houses, and a lot of times they're expressed in the landscaping too, which I think is wonderful. And then small space gardening is really, really huge with us. And here's Chris and Stephen showing us the raised beds. This is basically a 3x4 raised bed, and this is real popular. This is about the space that a lot of folks have, even if it's in a little small townhome or maybe a balcony. I've had a lot of people using this kind of garden, or maybe several of them in a row. And of course, we have everything someone needs to get started. But these are great ways for a young family to get ready to garden in one small space. Small space gardening, using what you have, whether it's inside or outside, a balcony or a windowsill, all qualify. This was a garden I did years ago in Oak Lawn with a decent sized condominium, but the space outdoors is pretty tiny, but we wedged in a garden. I think using whatever you've got. Marcel here was putting these flowers and different botanicals in bird baths. I thought was a really nice idea with the bright colors. People are looking for these kinds of things now. There's the balcony idea. This is 2 ends of a balcony, very, very tiny. It must not be more than 15, 18 feet across, and loaded with plants. If that's what you've got, that's what you make out of it. Tropicals. Tropicals are huge, as we were saying. Something like this Bathyphyllum that's there, the ZZ plant, the Zamiifolia, all these dramatic looking leaves, and new containers are starting to change too. Some of the older containers are coming back in terracotta, some of those styles. Dwarf hybrids of small trees, crepe myrtles, Japanese maples, olive trees, and fruit trees. things you can grow in a container are all really starting to come in. I wanted you to see what you would look at when you came up these new ramps to that tropical greenhouse there in the back at North Haven. We have new ramps everywhere, so now it's not quite so much of a difficulty to push your cart through the North Haven grounds. These are in the front and the side, everywhere that you shop. It's really, really nice. Right next to them there is our new pottery area, and show you what's happening in a lot of terracotta pottery, and the ones in the back there in resin pots, which I like very, very much. They're lasting a lot. Those are the Ariana series. I'm using quite a bit here in my own garden. These are terrific pots that last a long time. People are looking for something brightly colored. They're looking for something simple, durable. These are easy to do. Our new tropical greenhouse is just fantastic. I was shooting a video in there this morning. You can see, if you look through the windows, it's actually empty. They had just finished building it there. But that was our first building that was completed, was our tropical greenhouse since the rebuild. And then indoors, you can see new sections where we have succulents in one side, air plants, tillandsias, epiphytic plants, bromeliads. It's really quite beautiful. I think you'll like it. Hopefully some of y'all have got a chance to see what it looks like now. Growing your own, definitely edibles is probably still our largest category that's going on right now. Vegetables, berries, and citrus are all up across the United States. Edible landscaping, the idea of being able to eat something that you are growing at home. It may be in a mixed container. It's a pretty container, maybe it has some flowers and annuals in it, but maybe it has some Swiss chard. The Swiss chard is pretty, but it's also edible. All these plants are working very well for people. The Victory Garden phrase spiked on Google last April at its best all-time popularity peak. So the idea is coming back of home gardening and having your own vegetables. 60% people want an outdoor kitchen. It's spiking even more. More vegetables. There's a meatless Monday trend, which I thought was pretty interesting. Seeds have been kind of a difficult thing. Maybe you've been hearing it's been difficult for the seed producing companies to keep up with demand and selling out over and over again. I don't know how I got this picture earlier on with a full rack, but very often this past couple of months, it would empty out before we get our next shipment in. One of the highest requested things are organic seeds in vegetable gardening. Raised beds are way, way up. They're very, very popular way to grow. I showed you one there. We're starting to do more raised beds. The one you're seeing on the left is a custom built raised bed done by Stephen there on our patio. So now we'll have a demonstration vegetable and ornamental bed. It's really looking fabulous now, and it's right there, right next to the cafe where you can see it. And on the right, he's showing off some of the herbs section. Herbs are still one of our most popular categories too. People are looking for new ways to use ethnic cuisines and herbs they've never tried before. Basil is still probably our most popular one. Lavenders, parsley, all of those sell out pretty quickly. Still another big trend that's going on is lawn reduction. 67% from the most recent survey want less lawn, and they want less to maintain, probably because they want more time to do other things, but they also want a wider variety of other plants to grow in the landscape, like the edible landscape idea. Natives are still huge for us in North Haven, and I think just continuing to grow for some of the same reasons too. Low maintenance, plants with benefits. So you have something that brings in wildlife, pollinators, something in addition to being drought tolerant, and all of these things you can get definitely with the right plant in the right place, and certainly with the native. The natives are going to adapt faster than anything else. Organics on your left, Espoma, the all organic company, has been really, really popular with us and has gained a lot in popularity because they have an organic fertilizer for just about everything. And especially considering the edible category, most people want to have something organic when they're growing something that's edible. And their tomato tone and vegetable tone fertilizers are fantastic. I've used them for quite some time. And then on the right, the perennials and sun perennials is probably our most popular section still, again, especially in late spring as it has been. Pollinator and wildlife attraction has still been one of the highest categories, most popular categories. Gardening with a purpose has been a phrase that you'll hear. A focus on sustainability, composting. People are asking me, how do I get started in composting? Permaculture. All of these kinds of things are things that we're hearing more of now. The Texas Conservation Alliance, teamed with the National Wildlife Federation for garden certification. So you perhaps you've seen the certified wildlife habitat signs. The TCA receives a percentage to support their conservation efforts, and tcatexas.org is a good resource so you can make an impact through them. Light pollution is something I'm hearing more about too. I wanted y'all to know some of, in case you hadn't heard, there's an impact not only on stargazing, but on the wildlife. Having too much lighting at night can change the bird pattern migrations and therefore their survival rates. Amphibians, like the toad I'm holding there, the life cycle disruption occurs in their mating habits if there's too much light at night. And of course, insect migration and death by the insects just simply getting exhausted by staying around lights too long can make them easier prey for predators, and then they lose their populations. So there's a great website, it's darksky.org, that I found. And I think we're going to be hearing more about it. I'd like to know more about it too. I'm hoping to find a speaker on it in the next couple of months, hopefully this fall. They discovered that having it dark after 11:30 at night, at least, is a good help. Then there's Winter Storm Uri. I'm so sorry, I guess I'm blocking that over there on the side. Is there a way I can get that out of there, somebody? It doesn't want to go away. Okay. So I guess most of y'all were probably here when this happened. Part of the time I was actually sick with COVID at home when it hit in the 14th, 15th, but we had snow coverage and ice coverage for a long time, and that's what made the big impact. 93 hours for that period, and then 139 hours once the storm really started moving through Dallas. We had a couple of warming spells, but not very much. And this is what changed a lot of things for everyone. It wasn't so much just the cold, but it was also the fact that too many plants weren't used to having that much moisture on top of them. It never got a chance to dry out, and then hadn't have anywhere to go because there was so much of it. So what I found was, what we were hearing a lot of were plants with crowns, like the Farfugium on your left, the tractor seat plant, or the leopard plant, people call it. A lot of these plants just simply rotted. There was just way too much water on top of them and the cold for 5 days. And then the tree toll was really, really huge. And some trees out in my dad's land out in Fredericksburg, they had the worst ice storms, I think, compared to us, and lost a lot of trees. A lot of plants were lost. The ones that we're hearing the most about are the ones that are becoming our new priority, which are Pittosporum, Mahonia, Ligustrum, Aspidistra, cast iron plant, foxtails, asparagus ferns, Aloysia, Japanese holly fern, Carolina jessamine, Liriope, and of course the live oaks. These are the plants that we're hearing the most requests for, and the ones we're having most difficulty finding because everyone's trying to protect them. Winter protection sales, frost cloth, blankets went way up. We kept running out. We ordered more. We sold over 5,800 feet of frost cloth and 800 blankets. It's just amazing how much we sold because everyone was trying to cover what they could to get through it. That's what caused all the shortages and the things that happened. We had signs like these all through the garden center so people would know. It looked pretty bleak there for a while. It was difficult for us to get caught up for this past spring. So business was up in general. We were setting new records each month this past spring. Our general categories were all up. We broke all-time records for the highest sales from March and April this year, which we're proud of. It was extremely busy. The buyers were having difficulty even finding anything in numbers. Some things were just simply unavailable after being ordered way in advance. And then the shipping crisis hit. Freight went up 200 to 600% for a lot of us here and people in general in North America for garden centers trying to get things into the garden center. Some orders got canceled. Orders were doubled, tripled, and then quadrupled to lock in prices and keep the items coming. What I called for a lot of people to understand is that we had a four-way threat: gardening popularity, COVID, the shipping issues, and then last Sunday, we had one more tornado. Unbelievably, it really followed the same pattern. It went almost due north across our property, through our bedding area, in our new awning right off the main building, and then straight up the doors. It blew out the front door that's on your left, it blew out the back door, and then that allowed all the water to come in. So it flooded through a couple areas on the far west side where this is, and then the far east side, but it was nothing near the kind of damage that we had back in 2019. And we were fine. We got a lot of phone calls in the week of people that were concerned how we were doing. The staff was, everybody was great. We closed for a couple hours on Sunday afternoon, and the staff got us back up and running. So what's happening right now? We're doing a lot more videos. Since I don't have a classroom, the classroom is being used for storage right now as we get the cafe and the new boutique open. But I want you to kind of see what some of the numbers that I see for the most popular topics. And again, it's perennials, what's going on in the tropical greenhouse, plants for shade, natives. These are the ones that get continued additional views over and over again in the past couple of years as we're starting to build this really nice video library. And I hope that some of y'all will be getting a chance to see some of these. And then we had to change mask policy. Yeah, I think it's wonderful where we are, that we're becoming more comfortable and more safe to be out. Some people want to still wear a mask, and that's fine. Some of us still wear a mask at work. I do. But we made these new signs and changed along with the new CDC guidelines. So if you come into North Haven, one of our staff members will definitely have a mask on them in case you want them to wear it. But we want people to feel comfortable, and definitely things are starting to change. I'm seeing a lot of folks coming in without a mask.
Hey, Rusty, I've got a question. This is Joellen. We got a question that
Sure.
there's apparently one large local nursery allows immunosuppressed people to shop every day for 30 minutes before they open. Have you ever considered that?
No, we hadn't.
Maybe even just 1 day a week.
Yeah, we hadn't actually. No one suggested that. No, we hadn't heard that there was a demand for it. We've had, probably just the typical thing a lot of businesses would have, one or two, maybe three instances where people really felt uncomfortable. And we did our best, of course, to make them happy. But 99% of the time, we didn't have any issues at all. And we've gone through all these past couple of months just fine. But I think that what it should point out still is that we're going to respond to the community, and we're going to respond to our customers. We've done what we could to make people happy, and I think it's really showed. We still have people coming in. But it's a really interesting idea. I'd like to see how more businesses are responding that way. So this is the new lawn, quote unquote. And so I tell folks that I gather, I wouldn't say I have to have too many classes right now. We're getting there. But this is the only fake plant in all of North Haven Gardens. It is a faux lawn. And Pam and Aaron Pincus really wanted to have this multi-purpose area for events for kids. And kids are actually going out there sometimes and playing already. But it's very, very neat. It's right in front of the patio and the last building to be finished, which is the boutique and the cafe. And you can see on your left over there, people ask me, what happened to the shovels at the front doors? Well, we did save them that were there, and it's gotten painted black there on the handle. It's on our new building, the door to the restrooms in the cafe. Very cool. So this is the boutique. This is Ralph and Rose. It's named after Ralph Pincus and Tara Rose, his first granddaughter. And it's going to be very, very different. It's a very nice selection of candles, decor, accessories, wonderful stuff. Very, very nice gift items I think you're really going to like. And we've planted some new plantings and things around these areas as they're finishing them up. And this is what it's going to look like. It almost looks like this now, I'll tell you that. I'll show you one shot, kind of whet your appetite a little bit. But I think you can see some of the current design trends too. But the idea was to make this an extension of the outdoors to the indoors. Very minimal changes in color, so that when you look outside, what you see are all the plants. You see the beautiful color that's there. But it feels very natural. It's light and open and airy. It's really, really pretty in there. So this is a shot of the real thing. I managed to squeeze in there before, well, just a couple of days ago, actually. And they've finished a lot more since then. It's looking really, really pretty. So this is the old open air classroom. That's supposed to be a joke. That is, that was the first time that I saw my classroom after the tornadoes went through. And the classroom's gone. 100% of it was gone. All the walls were gone. This is the entrance from the greenhouse. And this is the new classroom, or classroom to be. And you can see the big pitch ceilings that we have in the new buildings that make them really nice and open. And it's just a little smaller than the first classroom. This is the only space that I've got for events with the new North Haven right now. But I think you're going to like it. It's painted kind of a nice sagey green, which I like very much. And I'm very anxious to get in there. As you probably know, this room is not looking like this right now. It is filled with product for the new boutique, furniture, and as I said, lots of storage things. But mostly because of COVID, I've elected to not have gatherings indoors quite yet. We're going to start doing more classes outdoors, and pop-ups and some other things. And we have our first event. So this is the first actual store-wide event since November of 2019. And I'm excited to do it because it's when I started, and it's what I called Water Gardening Weekend. This is what I call Water Gardening Saturday. It's just going to be one day this year, but we will have the North Texas Water Gardening Society coming back to North Haven, and Dallas Koi Kichi with a koi auction, which has always been a lot of fun. And then we have, of course, a lot of water plants coming and a lot of things we can teach people about getting into water plants. It's going to be really great, the event that's coming up. And this is what we look like at night. I just thought it was really, really pretty. We have new lighting that's out there. And as y'all know, we are in the middle of a residential neighborhood. So we're very much subject to some pretty severe restrictions on what we can do and can't do with lighting and signage. And it really drove the design of the new North Haven because it looked like a house, which I thought was very, very cool. And so here we are, as of May 15th this year, 70 years old. Very proud of you there. Shameless self-promotion. North Haven Gardens at nhg.com. The video library, I'm slowly adding things on and getting that on there. Handouts are there. I bet most of y'all know what's on our website. We're real proud of it. And then, of course, on Facebook and Instagram, we have plenty of great information on what's happening in North Haven Gardens. So I hope that gives you kind of a pictorial and a little bit of an understanding of what's going on in North Haven, and I think what's going on in America right now with garden centers, independent garden centers like ourselves. And I really hope you'll come see me and see me in a class, which would be the greatest thing that we can do. Thank you.
We got a question, Rusty. When will the cafe be open?
The number one question. So hopefully we'll have something here by June, in June, should I say. We're looking at last I heard, don't quote me, about 3 more weeks or so, and we're going to be finishing up the boutique, Ralph and Rose, and we're doing taste tests. We're fortunate enough to get things sampled from Chef Christoph from the cafe staff. They hired a couple people this past week, so we're really getting there. Last I heard this week, they're going to be putting up the menu board and working on the front area in the dining room. One thing I can tell you is that we're going to have a renewed focus on being able to dine outside and on the patio. So as soon as we get some of the patio area covered, and they're going to bring in the furniture out there, hopefully I'll be able to have some more classes and things going on out there too. So keep watching. I guess I should say too, the newsletter just came out. Hopefully I'll get the summer newsletter, and it has a little bit more about what's going on with the cafe and boutique.
I think people are excited about that. I'm seeing in the chat, congratulations on your rebirth. I think everybody's glad to see it.
Yeah, you know, one customer came up to me and he said, you know what, I'm surprised that the Pincus family didn't say, you know what, we've done enough, we've been around a long time, and they didn't. And I'm so glad they didn't.
Good for them.
Yeah, thank you. It's emotional.
It is emotional. I got another question. Somebody's asking about getting leopard plants, our soft caress mahonia this summer. And somebody responded that you have leopard plants today?
Oh my gosh. Who's on there? Who's been shopping this week? They just came in a couple days ago. So we do have Farfugium gigantea, which is the one that you saw that was fried from the cold. That's the bigger one with the shinier leaves and does not have yellow spots. The one that does have yellow spots we've not seen yet. That's Aureo maculata. The last I heard, mahonias have not been in much supply at all. We cannot find many mahonias.
Oh, okay.
But as with anything else, they have to come in right away and get these plants before they're gone.
Can we call them reserve giant leopard plant?
No, there's no real way to do that, but it is possible. If you have a credit card, you could pay over the phone. It is possible to do that. What we've done, and I know you're all gardeners and y'all understand what it's like at North Haven, is that we've encouraged people to place an order by email, and the information is on the website. And that gives us a chance to go pull the things, see if it's there or not, and then get back to someone. It's difficult to do that on the phone and then call someone back. It's been difficult to have enough people to actually answer the phone in spring, but starting to get a little calmer, and we're able to do that. We would still encourage people to come in. It's going to be faster that way.
It would. Okay. Do you have a citrus trees?
No. I could have gotten you maybe a couple of numbers from the Texas citrus growers. Most of y'all probably know that you cannot transport citrus across state lines. So citrus has to come from Texas. And because Texas was hit by the cold and the storm Uri, there were very, very big losses in the South Texas for citrus. So we've been unable to get more than one shipment. All we have is maybe one smaller shipment in early spring. I would say that hopefully we'll be able to get something this fall. They simply need some more time to grow some more stock.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, like a lot of plants. It just is going to take some time to grow the woodier plants. The annuals and the perennials and the things that are quicker, they can grow from seed. Those are some of the things I think that are really starting to show up in numbers and get replaced.
I don't see any more new questions coming in. I see kudos to North Haven.
Thank you so much. I know I'm preaching to the choir out there, but I think we very much appreciate all of you. I certainly do, with your coming to classes and things in the past. And hopefully all these things will happen soon in the future. I'll be able to see all of y'all. I get to see Abby again.
I'm sure Abby appreciates that.
Absolutely. We got to get y'all teaching some more classes for me. I can't do everything. I don't know enough. I need master gardeners.
Oh, glad to hear. Abby, I'm going to cut out and let you take over.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Rusty, thank you so very much for that wonderful presentation. And it really makes you feel like I got to get in the car right now. So
It's a beautiful thing out there. It's not raining.
not raining, but there was a mosquito about the size of a nickel that landed on me when I was out this morning, and I'm going, uh-oh, this is not going to be pretty.
This year from the water.
Yeah,
Goodness.
crazy. Well, thank you so much, Rusty.
You're quite welcome.
Jessica, help me out. I don't know what to do.
Me either. I need to get off.
Yeah, Abby. So we're going to do announcements and shout outs now. No, I'm sorry. It's going to be Jeff is going to be speaking for us.
Yes. Jeff, are you there?
No.
No?
He came. Yes.
Honest answer.
Hello?
I'm here. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Rusty, for coming on, buddy. It's good
Yeah.
to see you back up again, and good to see you getting back to health. I think you guys epitomize kind of a rebirth of some normalcy that we're starting to walk into, and that we're starting dealing with, and getting back to some things we're used to, and getting out of this situation we've been in. My portion today is just going to be updating you on what's going on at A&M, at the college, and what we're going to be doing going in for the rest of the year. Starting the fall semester for us, college is open, so it's done. But starting June 1st, we are open 100% as we were before. Face mask will be optional with vaccinations. And I want to make this very, very clear. We cannot ask if people are vaccinated. We cannot segregate people that are vaccinated out. We cannot do that. We're not going to be able to do that. That's not. And I sit through a 30-minute lecture on this. When I was 2 weeks ago, I was at a regional meeting. I had to sit through 20 minutes of this, talking about how important this is for everybody to understand across the board, across our volunteer system, is we have to just go on faith, as we all are, as Rusty does at North Haven. It's on the sign. If vaccinated, it's optional. We can't ask, and they can't ask either. So we'll just take it as face value. If you're uncomfortable, let me make this very clear. If you're uncomfortable getting back into the program this year, as far as going out, meeting, mingling, and getting back to what you did before, if you're in one of the physical projects, you got to let me know. I will do everything it takes, just like we did last year. We will work you through the program again this year. I know we have a lot of people with immune issues and different types of situations where we've had something in the past. A lot of us have had cancer, and a lot of us are kind of concerned about these kind of situations. So let me know, and I will walk you through it. Tegan, I promise you, we'll walk you through it. We've already, the board knows that, my advisory committee knows that we're going to do what it takes to get you through this year again, until we can really, really feel comfortable getting past the pandemic we've been through. Now, saying that, the hours are still going to be 30 volunteer and 6 education. That's not going to change. But again, we'll get everybody through this. I want you to understand too, just because we're going to be mask optional, and because projects cannot, I just saw that pop up, projects cannot require mask unless it is site specific. If you're at the temple and the temple says you got to wear a mask outside, you know what? You're gonna have to wear a mask outside. That's the thing. Government buildings now, there's no mask required. So at RMD1, you don't have to have a mask. You don't have to social distance anymore because the governor put that law in place. But with the churches, with Midway Hills, Lisa and the group, Lisa just put that up with Lisa and the group, you can't make them wear a mask. But the church can. The church says you can't come in without a mask. You can't meet inside. We're going to adhere to whatever the site-specific rules or regulations are going to be. Plain and simple, black and white, no options for that one. So if one at your specific project, not going to let you go inside without wearing a mask, you're going to have to wear a mask inside until they say otherwise, and that's just what it's going to be. So as always, I hope you guys have understood that I've tried to take care of y'all through this situation. When I agreed to fill in this position, I would never thought what I was going to have to fill in for, to fill in a situation like this. Who would have known this? Nobody knew this was going to come on. And, it's been kind of one of those things where the job's not hard. The jobs can be enjoyable, but, it's kind of one of those things where we just had to switch gears completely and change whatever we've done before. And it's not a bad thing, all a bad thing. We've got new technology in help desk, speakers bureau, things like that. New technology. We're catching up with the times, as Rusty's done. As he talks about when he's talking about North Haven, putting more videos out. We're all doing that now. So we're all understanding that's going to be a very valuable tool in the future to reach more audience. So good things will come out of this. I'm very thankful that we were not hit harder than we were through this COVID situation. We had some members come down with some COVID situation, had COVID, they went through it. But as far as I know, we haven't had a loss, maybe as far as I know, through this whole pandemic. So that's you guys taking care of yourselves and helping take care of each other when we're in our projects and when we try to get through it. But as far as programs go in the projects, and this is for project leaders went into it, June 1st, I'm not going to schedule anything from the A&M end of it for outside audiences yet. I'm going to do some intern trainings, intern classes, because this new class we graduated we've got 54 interns out in the field now, and I'm going to do some specific classes for interns. And I know Cynthia's got a project. We're going to do some projects for interns specific to let them kind of get together more as a class. I never got to meet each other like you guys did. Most of you that went through year before last, we're a class, we're a team, got to see each other, got to meet each other, visit, talk, know each other. Well, this class is the first one that never got to see each other in person until we got out in projects. So we're going to do some special things for the first few months, and then we'll start looking at fall programming for some public programming in the fall. It just depends on how things go and such. I'm not tasked to do programming at all. I was given them a directive from my boss's boss's boss. Keep on track with what we're doing. They were complimented. The county was complimented on how we handled the situation, and just keep going forward and just try to get back into some normalcy. So 2022, get back into some regular programming stuff. So we're gonna go through this carefully, but we're gonna have to step out and move forward. We're not gonna go backwards, and we're not gonna hide anymore. We're gonna go out and face this thing and get back into our Agrilife programming and our program, our focus and our mission. Speaking of mission, Agrilife, A&M came out with a new director, Dr. Hyde. They rewrote the mission statement. They've added service to that mission statement, through education and through service. And they're going to expand into nutritional programming as part of agriculture and part of our horticulture programs, which we already do. I mean, Rain Catchers have put together some beautiful programs talking about nutrition and gardening and agriculture and horticulture. So we're already on there. We're ahead of the curve, and we're being recognized for being ahead of the curve for some of the programs that I talked about at the regional meeting. I actually spoke at the regional meeting about us and about RMB1 and things that are going on in Dallas County. So they were updated on what we're doing, and because of you guys, we are in a spotlight now, where they're going to look at doing some of the stuff that we're trying to do, or we've been doing. And I think I appreciate all that from you guys. That's your work. That's your hard work. That's you helping me get us through this, because there was a little fussing here and there, but not much. And I understand about the gardens and weeds and all that stuff that comes on, but it's not going to be we're past that. We're going to get it back. We're back in the gardens for the blast now. Everything's going forward. I want to visit the gardens and our projects when I can this year. Once I get a break from lecture, I'm doing a lecture tour right now. So once I get a break from this lecture circuit, then I'll get back out into the field and be able to come out and visit you guys. I got a question on the COVID paperwork. As of right now, we still need the paperwork. They still want the screen forms. They still want the preparedness plan, just like you've been doing. You guys have been doing perfect. You guys just send it to me, let me forward it, and it's done. We're going to have to do it for a while longer until they tell me no. There'd be nobody happier in this world when they tell us no than me, to be able to get rid of this and get past this, because I don't, it's one of those things that I get it, I understand it, and we just adhere to what they tell us to do. I do it. My boss, I don't have a boss. I answer to my boss's boss's boss. So I answer to a bigger, the big boss. And they want it, and they still want it. And hopefully that'll end pretty soon. I can't see it going much past June, though. I think it will end, but right now, just keep doing what you're doing. You guys are doing perfect, and I thank you for that. I thank you for getting me those and letting me get those in, because it's one of those things they're asking for. And it's really the only thing they've asked me for as far as this taking care of the county, was to get those into A&M so they can have them on record just to screen. But just for a while, just hang on with me for a while on the COVID forms and screen forms and such, and get past that pretty soon. But I just want to thank you guys for helping us get through this. We're at the point where so we're going to step out. We're going to go forward with stuff. I still want us to be very cautious, and I still want us to use our common sense on what we're doing here. But what I want you all to know in this meeting, and what I will put out on BMS after June 1st, once this is it's been officially announced to us. We've already got the email on the opening and reopening at 100%. But I'm going to put it out June 1st in a mass email. But for you guys on here today, if there's any issues with going forward and you feel uncomfortable, you got to always let me know that. Don't let it get to a point, where the email comes to me where you're upset about something. Get to me first. I'll fix them. I promise I'll fix you guys. I don't ignore you. I'll take care of you. So you got to get it to me, and then I will make sure that we're all taken care of throughout a program. But that's it. That was all today. I don't want to take up too much of the program, but I wanted you guys to know where we're at COVID, and we're going forward, and the tunnel's open. I mean, there's not a lot in the tunnel. The tunnel's opened up, and we're going to walk through it. But please be careful in the field. Please take care as we are, take care of ourselves, and just let me know if you need anything from me. All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that very much. This brings us to the announcements, and short and sweet. The new VMS system is up and running. Please go ahead and submit your hours. Teague said very few of us have actually gone on the VMS to check it out or to add hours, and I found it fairly easy. And being a novice at all this technology, I was very pleased with that. Second announcement, we are looking for a new person to lead the Master Gardener on Demand program. This position is part of the advisory committee that meets monthly under Jeff Raska's direction. It requires some computer skills and the ability to organize and put together a team for one-time projects. It might be mulching at rain catchers, or it could be cleaning up at TDG, or any number of small one-time organized, go for 2 hours, get it done. If this sounds like something you might be interested in, please let me know. It's a fun way to get to meet more of the gardeners and to do wonderful spot improvements in a very short time. So that's a lot of fun. The other shout out, I wanted to let you know that in last fall, or no, earlier this spring, there was a tree specialists program put on by Agrilife, and 6 or 7 of our Dallas County master gardeners became tree specialists. And they have started a project at Texas Discovery Gardens, tagging or mapping all of the trees on the, I think it's 7.5 acres that they have there. And it's going to turn into a really exciting program. And they're working with Carrie, the coordinator at TDG. And so they're having a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing their results. Those are the announcements. My shout out is to our wonderful awards committee for their continued work submitting timely applications for awards to the Texas Master Gardener Association. This year, so excited to say, Cynthia Jones has already put out the information, but if you hadn't heard it yet, the Texas Master Gardener Association awarded Dallas County a first place award going to Stephen Hauser for Outstanding Individual. And the second place award went to Rowlett Road and Bridge 1 for their research paper on harvesting grapes in Dallas County home gardens. So thank you so much to the committee to be giving us state recognition for the great things that the Dallas County Master Gardener Program does. So, and congratulations to Steve Hauser and Rowlett R&B 1 on your awards. This brings us to the project spotlight, and I would like to introduce Cindy Warbner, the project coordinator for Juliet Fowler. Cindy, you there?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
All right. Well, hello to everyone and greetings from the residents and staff and volunteers of Juliet Fowler Communities. Next. Do I need to advance them? Yay! Juliet Fowler Communities was chartered by the state of Texas in 1892, and we serve more than 500 residents annually. Let me talk a little bit about Juliet Peak Fowler. Juliet came to Texas in the 1850s. She was one of 13 kids. Her father farmed East Dallas area. After his health failed, he began to be the city's first developer. At that time, you might recognize some of the streets: Harwood, Carroll, Victor, Worth, Peak, Flora. Anyway, with that, we are very thrilled. And I know we had a couple, if we could go back 3 slides, please. Yay, okay, now we can advance, yes. Okay, and advance more. Great. Juliet, I'm going to tell just another little thing about it. She had tragedy in her life. She was married and had 2 children, and within a 2-year period, lost her 2 infant children and her husband. And at that time, she decided to help her life and only to help others. And so, as you can tell, over the years, Fowler continues to be an intergenerational residential community, and we are located in the Lakewood area of East Dallas. Next, yay. Our program was established by the class, about 15 members in the class of 2003 on those interns that year. We're very thrilled that they were so involved. Next. Fowler's campus encompasses more than 26 acres. You're going to see a lot of the landscape. And with that, we're thrilled to be able to have all of these park-like settings, hundreds of mature trees, garden beds, container gardens, all that allow our residents to feel like they are at home. Fowler's interacting residents, staff are all COVID vaccinated. The mask mandate will allow us, if we are outside gardening, now with Jeff's wonderful announcement, we do not have to wear a mask when we're gardening. If you're closer than 6 feet, please, and talking to someone, you do put the mask on. So we are thrilled that we're all able to breathe a little lighter now that summer is around the corner. Again, here are some of our gardens that the residents enjoy sitting and reflecting. This is a very old picture, as most of these are. We have lots of new plantings we're very thrilled about. This is one of our foundations of an old building built back in the 1800s, but it's now made into a beautiful garden. Fowler's landscape aids in reality orientation. For example, if a homebound person who is unable to get out of a building, such as our long-term care residents, and they look out and they see green grass, blooming flowers, they know that it is summer. So reality orientation is very important for residents to be able to look out. We have a lot of reminiscing plants, not so much these caladiums, but everyone loves a caladium throughout our memory garden and other areas. We have a lot of reminiscing plants that the residents remember from their youth. Our program has 9 raised therapeutic garden beds. They are standing height of 36 inches. We have a greenhouse for seeding and growing orchids. We have sheds with most needed equipment. We also have a certified monarch way station garden. Here is you would not even recognize this butterfly garden now because you can't see the soil at all. It's in areas 4 to 5 feet tall, and behind there you see our raised 6 of our therapeutic garden beds that the residents are able to stand up at. Again, here we are with some of our beds. This was the very first year that they were planted. I need to get some photos now. They are well loved. And matter of fact, our residents through the pandemic, they were not always able to get lettuce when they couldn't do their own shopping, the independent residents, but they could come out and harvest. And they sent us so many thank you notes about all the lettuce that they were able to harvest and the fresh vegetables. We use this area for all kinds of projects. Again, you can see to the right edge here was that old, what is now the butterfly garden, and it's just all completely changed. We have greenhouse, and this allows for winter seeding, growing orchids, and a comfortable place to work, especially in the winter. So we're very thrilled to have a greenhouse. Here's some of the orchids. Unfortunately, Fowler's power went out and our greenhouse suffered a loss of all plants, but we will rebuild because the orchids were placed in the residents' rooms, across the common areas. And so it was very much of a desired program that the residents want put back into place. We have all kinds of ways of adapting to allow the residents for no bend gardening. So it makes it easy. There's one of our several garden sheds, but this is where we put the majority of our projects, tools, and we have a great supply of tools. Amenities, we have a media room. When we are allowed to go back in and have those educational programs, we'll get that going. We have life enrichment rooms, again, when this is all allowed. We have test kitchens. We have a wonderful staff that supports our gardening program. This is a little shot of the media room. It's much bigger than you can realize. There's chairs all around, very comfy. This actually is our old test kitchen. This building was damaged during the winter storm. Sprinklers froze, and so this is being remodeled as we speak. But this is a place where we often make pesto, sorbets, any type of baking. So we're real thrilled that that will be remodeled. I have a new kitchen. You can see here we're making the pesto. Lavender bags. We do lots of crafts. Since we meet most weeks on Friday, we meet weekly, I should say. When the weather is bad or inclement, we do alternative programs. And this was all about lavender. And that was a lavender cake that was baked by a staff member because they were so excited that we were making these lavender sachets for all the residents. Lots of meeting locations. Once again, when we're able to go into the area, we have plenty of places to be able to gather. You can see residents there playing, but this is one of our planning sessions. We were meeting with staff and residents and creating landscape plans for new garden beds. The residents absolutely love giving their input on the type of plants that we put in. This is the oldest garden beds we had on our community. We've actually replaced them, but it's a fun fact. The Dallas County Master Gardeners originally built these beds in the late 80s, 1980s. So we loved those beds for many years, but we have the new ones. But I have to show those to show y'all our tie back to the 80s with the Dallas County Master Gardeners. We host monthly educational meetings when we're able to get back to that time. And this is open to not only Master Gardeners, but obviously residents and neighbors. Here we have a container garden class that we were doing. We can move a little faster. Yay, more of that container class. This was one of our indoor locations that we're able to have. And you're going to see here coming up, this is one of our pumpkin and sedum crafts. Again, when we have bad weather, we just move things in and we're able to go through. The residents said their pumpkins lasted for months. They were so thrilled to be able to have these live pumpkins. Lots of container gardening. We just have such a wonderful group here at Juliet Fowler. We are so blessed and we're thrilled to be able to share all of their knowledge with the residents and volunteers. Sandra Zelli is a certified horticultural therapist who leads monthly classes. And with that, here we're working on paper flowers, but we're teaching them all of the parts of a flower, working with live flowers in this photo. Again, it's all about education, and they are little sponges. They love, the residents at all ages love to soak up the knowledge. Now, this is Sandra on the right. And with that, we go into, and the program goals relate to sensory stimulation, connection with nature through touch, colors, fragrances, and I'm going to add taste because we are often tasting those. The participants practice gross and fine motor skills. And obviously, you know, this was before COVID, but it was a project where you needed to take one of these unstable residents' hands and hold it while they were using their fine motor skills to plant the seeds. Again, Sandra just sharing her knowledge. Love those container gardens. They bring cheer every day to everyone that walks by. Hundreds of volunteers are educated on best horticulture practices. When we're able to start getting into large groups, community is our business, and we love to bring the community into our residents. Deloitte hosts an impact day where they bring in about 100 to 150 young accountants. These folks are educated by us. Some of them are straight out of school. They don't even know you need to take the plant out of the plastic container before you plant it. So there's lots of knowledge we share, and we typically have about 50 to 75 in that one day that are gardening only. And that was a Eagle Scout project that we were preparing. And here, rain or shine, those Deloitte folks were there. We plant about 600 to 800 caladium bulbs across our community each year. So we love being able to show those caladiums and sunbeds. We have all kinds of shade. That's the majority of our gardens because we have these gorgeous oak and these lovely 100 acres or 100-year-old trees. Fowler's program received a Texas Superstar Award in 2004, and we also received a $10,000 grant from the city of Dallas for its Grow South program. So we're very thrilled. Please join us on Fridays. During the summer, we start early, 8 o'clock. Try to beat that heat. During the winters, we start at 9:30 and we stay a little longer, sometimes to 12. But with that, we welcome you to come and join us. Just email me and I'm happy to share that. Obviously, we can't stand up since we're not in a live meeting, but one of the things I would like to share, especially with the interns, is we do have all kinds of assignments that you can do as your schedule allows anytime. And August is a big time where we have to have lots of watering. So that's a wonderful little tidbit to know, but we are ever so grateful for all the support of all the Dallas County Master Gardeners. And we appreciate all the staff and Jeff and everyone. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Cindy. We really appreciate it. Sounds like a wonderful opportunity for everybody involved. Next on the list, I have Callie Works-Leary, who's going to be speaking to us about Instagram. Callie, you there?
I am.
Great. It's all yours.
Thank you, Abby. So hi all, as Rusty mentioned, social media is an incredibly important medium right now for reaching and educating an entirely new generation of gardeners who have been introduced to gardening during the pandemic. And our goal is to populate the Dallas County Master Gardeners Association Instagram account so that it's a clear reflection of our group and our mission. And we also just want to be able to share what our master gardeners are doing. I think people are interested in not only other members of our own organization, but the general public as well. In late April, Cynthia sent out an email with information about the project and for us, our project asking you to submit your own photos that we can put on Instagram. I want to thank everyone who has participated. It's been a very successful effort and we are going to make it an ongoing project and we want to invite more people to contribute. So if you look back in your email, it was sent on April 20th and that has all the links that you need to use to submit your photographs as well as the accompanying information. It was mentioned in the original email, but I want to reiterate that one of the ways to increase engagement on Instagram, just in general, is by putting longer captions in. So it's almost as if each Instagram post is a mini article. So when you submit your photos, please include as much detail as you can. If it's educational about a particular plant, make sure that you're including as much information as possible. I'll edit it down if I need to, but I would rather be able to condense it than have to elaborate on it. So I really appreciate you being super detailed. The other thing that we need more of is we need more pictures of you. We want to showcase our gardeners. So we would love to see you in your garden. We would love to see pictures of you and your fellow volunteers at the each individual project gardens as well. So those are the kinds of things that we're looking forward to moving forward. And I, again, want to thank those who've already submitted. So the things that make a good post, again, high quality photos, educational content, and individuals in it. And about Instagram overall, Kim Amon is our new Instagram lead, and she will be managing the account as a whole. I will be managing this as kind of a side project for Instagram. This will be kind of an ongoing project, but Kim will be taking the lead on the account efforts in general. I will be leading the Pinterest effort as well, but if you have an event or project or announcement that you think would be good on either all the social media platforms or specifically on Instagram, remember to use the Jot form. This is the new way that we're asking everyone to submit. And what's so great about this system is that you submit one event, announcement, something that you want promoted, and it goes out to all of the social media leads. And so we're all on the same page and you'll start seeing all that stuff all in the right places. And that's the best way to use that. If you don't know what that is, you're not familiar with it, Sandy Bannon is the person to ask about that. She can give you the links and help you get set up with that. If you have any particular questions for me, it's callieworksleary@gmail.com. All one word. I'm happy to send you the link to submit your photos. I'm also going to see if we can send out that email one more time, so it's up top in your inbox for submitting those photos, and you can create kind of a bookmark to it and just keep submitting throughout the summer as things start to get going, as it starts to heat up. And again, thank you so much for everyone participating. It's been really fun. Also, and if you don't already, if you're on Instagram, please make sure that you're following us. It's Dallas County Master Gardeners. Make sure that you're sharing the things that we post to encourage more people to follow along. So that's another effort that we want. We want to expand our reach. So thank you.
Hey, Kelly, so Ellen, I wanted to confirm, are you talking about Kim Lester, right? Lester?
No, we have Kim Aman is our, she's the person. Yes, AMAN. She is the person who is now leading our Instagram as a whole.
Okay, thank you. I wasn't clear on that.
Sure. And then one more, sorry, one more thing I forgot. I apologize. I also, the awards that were announced, I had a good picture of Stephen Hauser. I need some good pictures of the R&B One Grapes team. So if anyone has good pictures of their efforts or something that we can share on Instagram, I am looking for that.
Oh, and in connection with that, Kelly, somebody's asking, can someone post the Jot Form URL?
Yes.
Now, it's on the website, but maybe you can address that.
Yes, and I will put my email address in the chat. I'll put the Jot Form URL, and I will also include the URL for the photograph submission. And that's all I got. Back to you, Abby.
Okay, thank you so much. Looking forward to that. Cindy Large is going to speak to us next about the new program of the at-home botanist. So Cindy, you there?
Yes, and so is Andrew. Andrew, are you
Oh,
there?
hi, Andrew.
Andrew?
I'm here. Sorry, I was
Okay.
muted. Hi. Yes.
Did you
Go
want
ahead,
to
Cindy.
start off, Andrew?
Nope, you're up.
Oh, okay.
Well-
So basically,
Well, do you want to put the slides up?
actually, I can't.
Okay, let me see if I can get the slides up.
Okay, so basically, I'll just go ahead and start talking to y'all a little bit about it. You've probably heard a little bit about Plant Tag and the at-home botanist program. And are you able to get them, Andrew?
Yep, almost.
Okay,
Close.
awesome. So basically, I just wanted to give y'all a little update that this program is an awesome program for everyone who wants to participate in it because it's self-paced. You know, you can do as many or as few profiles as you want. And the other thing is for those of you that are like night owls, you can do this at night. So, or if you're like a really early morning person and too early to go out to a garden, you can do it early in the morning. Now, we have heard some people were concerned about, you know, what if what they're doing isn't good enough, something like that. Do not worry. The content, whatever is researched, it is reviewed and edited before it's even published. So you don't have to worry about it. It's not like you're doing it all alone. And the other thing is that you're not assigned plants. There's always about 200 plants to choose from. So you pick what you want to do, which is awesome because everyone has like their favorite plants that they like. And this way you can learn more about the plants that are your favorite. Now, with that being said, since you can pick what you want, are we getting it, Andrew?
I think so. I'm having some issues, but.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so basically, you can do this as an education or a volunteer opportunity. And let's see what else. Oh, and Jeff has approved it for both education and volunteer activities. So, and one more big perk is that for every plant that is profiled, there's $10 is donated to the Dallas County Master Gardeners, which basically is a great fundraiser for us. So you control or you log how many hours you spent either researching and writing for education or for volunteering. Oh, and we're going to start one new thing. That is, you know, as volunteers, we didn't join Master Gardeners just to do it on our own. Okay, we joined the Master Gardener program so we could connect with other people. And with that, you know, part of it is the fun of making friends. So since we are basically doing lots of Zoom meetings, we're going to start a once a month Zoom meeting that will be like a check-in, a Q&A. It's an opportunity to connect with other at-home botanists. Okay, so that'll be a time for us to share the best practices, update the research resources, and then we can just collaborate and learn from each other. But it's really meant to have fun. Just like when you go and volunteer in the different gardeners, this is an opportunity for you to just to connect with other people, have fun. Now, okay, it's not, okay. At the bottom.
I got it. I finally got it. I was having issues with getting it to run the presentation.
Okay, so at the bottom in blue is the link for you to click to apply. And basically when you apply, what's happening is you are doing a sample, and that sample will, it'll kind of give you an idea of what the whole project is like, and it'll help, and then that will also give you, let you know if that's something you want to do. If you have any questions, you can always email me, and I can send you like some sample ones and just some other stuff. And I think that's it on that slide. If you want to go to the next slide.
Yep.
Okay, so we have like a huge shout out. It says the at-home botanist team. These are the people who have been our contributors. Dottie Franz, Leonard Nadalo, Christina Herman, Cindy Bolts, Deborah Cook, Katie Fairbank, Barbara Harden, Elizabeth Diaz. Awesome, awesome work, y'all. Now, with that being said, we do have room for probably 4 more, even more probably. So we would like more people to join our group. And so there's 58 plant profiles that have been done since March 29th. And then in April, there was a donation of $330, which means $10 for the 33 projects, but that was just for the first 33. Obviously, it couldn't have been the 58 because that's 58 from the
That includes May numbers. Yep, yep.
And let's see. Oh, and then Dottie Franz has completed 48 of those 58 profiles. Awesome. So let's see. Oh, and then you'll see like in the gardens. Andrew, are you talking about this?
I can, yep.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk briefly about the plant tag enablement efforts. We've got a bunch of the gardens that we talked about last month, and you guys have seen in the newsletter, already plant tag enabled. There's signs out, but first thing I want to start with, there's already been 117 people that have texted leave. So we've barely had the signs out in the gardens, and it shows people are already using them, which is super exciting. So just talking real quick about the gardens that have been, the signs have been deployed. We had the bathhouse that went up April 25th, Lakewood Elementary went May 6th, Raincatchers on May 13th, R&B 1 went May 15th. Now, here's an interesting one. We have plant tag enabled the first Master Naturalist garden, which was the result of our collaborative work together. There's Connie, who runs the Master Naturalist. It's called the Windmill Pollinator Garden over there at Brookhaven College. saw the post that we did on the bathhouse and said, hey, I'm interested in this too. So the really neat thing for the Dallas County chapter of Master Gardeners is that we're having an effect in getting the word out to even other organizations and groups, which helps other things like the Master Naturalist achieve the same objective of best practices in gardening. Plano Senior High, that's a really interesting little startup garden that was put together by a former Plano High student, really interesting guy named Drew. So we got to sign up in his little startup garden. It is going to be beautiful once it starts to grow out. And then Texas Discovery is on the list to come next. I've worked with Joe and Tig and got their list of plants, and so we've verified that they're in the library, and just need to schedule some time to go out and put the signs out and get that lit up out there as well. So, the point is, the reason that we've got this last slide about garden enablement is the discussion today is really about the at-home botanist. And I wanted everybody to see how participation in creating this expert content through the at-home botanist program manifests in people visiting the gardens and wanting to learn more about the plants in the gardens. And that's where they're going to see the great work that's done by the at-home botanist. And so if we can grow the group of folks that are part of the team, and as Cindy mentioned, we'll expand the team to accommodate anybody that wants to participate. The thing I want to underscore is that it's not just about creating content. Everybody that's participating has told me that I get to learn so much about plants that I didn't know anything about. So it's mutually beneficial. Ultimately, it results in real expert content for the system, but it's also fun and educational for those of you that are at-home botanists. So I'd love to see more people join the program. I will make sure that the link, while it's just in this presentation, is circulated out for anybody to go through the process of signing up. So we'd love to have you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Andrew. Good job, Cindy. Really appreciate it. I hope you get some more people to sign up for you. Guess what? Our meeting time is over, and I would like to thank you. And everybody who spoke at this meeting did just a fantastic job. I really feel a good group effort, and I think it was a lot of important information we got out today. So thank you for that. And as a reminder, to let you know, anytime you hear of anybody who you might think would be someone we would like to hear, either Zoom or possibly in face at a later date, as things open up, please let us know. We'd love to hear about that. And also to let you know, the next month's meeting will be on June 24th at 11:30, the same time slot, and Adam Black will be speaking to us. So thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Joellen. Thank you, wonderful team. It's really great having all of you to work with. So at that note, Jessica, I guess we'll call it a meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for coming in, and appreciate you, Abby.
Thank you.
We will see y'all next month.
Thank you. Bye-bye.